Hey, what's up guys, Za here, and in this video today I wanted to make a goth girl character for the next animation that I'm working on. But before we begin, let's first talk about the design, because as you guys know, I design all of my characters as well while working in 3D. And I know for some of you guys that's a bit of an interesting topic that you want to learn more about, so let's talk about that first. Now guys, before I ever sit down to create a new character, I actually just spend a bunch of time on Pinterest and Pexels and other photography sites, gathering lots of inspiration. So that's the first step, but it's important to know what type of inspiration you're actually looking for. So for me, when looking for inspiration, my goal here is really to just find good, quote-unquote, components. Now, what I mean by components is to take images that have something unique or special about them that draws your attention. Because when I make my characters and think of the design, I actually have multiple inspiration boards that I make for like each part of the character. So for example, I'll make an inspiration board for the hair, one for the face, one for the upper part of the body, like the upper attire and clothing, one for the like pants area or skirt or whatever she's going to wear. So let's take the hair for example. What caught my attention is a lot of hairstyles in this gothic look have these dyed hair strands, so you're going to see in this video I apply that to the hair that I make for this character. Which of course in the case of this character here is going to be blonde. Also guys, regarding hair, super important that when you're finding references for hair, that you kind of find pictures from every angle. So for this hairstyle, for example, you could see the hair is kind of coming off of the top here, and these are the side strands. Then we have them going behind the ear here. So as you can see, I can draw like this. You can see it's going behind the ear. This is really important. And then it comes down like this and spreads. So when I was making this character, guys, I was looking at pictures of hair from back view, side view, front view. Now obviously it's hard to ever find like exactly what you're looking for, so when I look for pictures, I'm really looking for the pictures that are closest to what I want in terms of the hairstyle that I'm going for. Now for her attire, an example of finding good components would be, I found that in a lot of goth type of styles, one of the most appealing types of fashion is kind of like a tank top with a cool design on it, so I wanted to incorporate something like that as well. So you could see here in this image, I took inspiration from the way the design on her tank top is. That was like a component that I applied to my overall design for my character. And so really when I'm like designing my own characters while working in 3D, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm trying to find images that inspire me and I try to apply it to my own work if I can. Sometimes you try to apply something from, you know, like inspiration you get and it doesn't work out. So there is a bit of testing involved, like sometimes you'll test something, it looks really good. Sometimes you might test something and it does not look as good. So you guys have to keep that in mind as well. Also, of course, since this is a goth type of character, I wanted to make sure the makeup around her eyes had a sufficient amount of blackness, definitely. Because of course, when I was looking at this type of makeup, it just like really inspired me. So then in my character I made, I didn't go too crazy with it, but I made sure there was like enough black around the side of her eye to still kind of give a good vibe. And then also for this character, I just wanted to balance the design by adding something to her arms as well. And doing this kind of helps us to make the silhouette of the character more interesting than if her arms were just like completely bare. And to be honest, they'd still look cool, especially with the tattoos, but I don't think it would have looked as cool as what I did here, which was I kind of made these sleeves that go onto her arms, but they're like cut around the, I guess, upper forearm area. No, upper arm area, that's what it's called, I think. So yeah, that's why I did that, and throughout this video, you're going to see I experiment with that and just like the attire in general a bit. Like at first, I kind of just had them be regular sleeves, but then I improved the design by kind of like messing around with the top of it a bit to distort the silhouette more, so you guys are going to see that as well. And of course, for the design of our character, I wanted to add tattoos because they just look really cool. And now leaves are like a nice thing to draw for me, so I just kind of like defaulted to that. So that's why a lot of the tattoos were leaves, and then I also kind of wrote my name on the side here as well, so that was another thing I did. So yeah guys, I hope this helps you to understand how I kind of think about design when I'm making my characters. I know it's kind of unusual because most people, maybe not most people, but I feel like a lot of people, they prefer to use like some sort of character sheet that they're referencing. I design my stuff from scratch while I'm working, and I just find it to be like really fun because you're also improving your design skills as well as your, you know, like 3D skills as well. So it's just a really cool thing. And so yeah, without further ado, I think let's now go into actually making the character. Also guys, I'll be making use of a tool called Stylize Asset Suite for texturing this character and adding all the colors and everything and effects. You can get that add-on for free on my channel by going to the description and you can watch this video. Okay guys, so as usual, I'm starting out with the base mesh I made in my masterclass just to save some time here. To start out with, I added in a base color and an outline just like I normally do. After that, I added in a UV sphere to use as the eye. Of course, I reflected it across the character and just positioned it as best as I could. Of course, I also flattened the front part of the eye because this is a sort of anime style after all. After that, I started drawing in the cornea, just like this, darker in the center and brighter on the outer parts. You can see I added the pupil here. And when that was done, I added in an eyelash using curves just like this, increasing the depth and making sure that it is thicker on the right side and more thin on the left side. With that being done, I also worked on the lips area a bit by drawing in some black over there, and also above the eye as well, adding in a bit of crease using black just to help define the initial shape. From there, it was time to add in some redness, so I did that using red, of course, and just around the lips I added in some redness, really making sure to get it into that center part there. And I also added some redness around the eye area and on the cheeks as well. I always like to lay in my reds early because they do actually have a very big impact on the structure of the face. With that done, I then added in the eyebrows using a plane. Sometimes I actually just draw in the eyebrows without adding a separate plane. In fact, that's actually usually what I do, but here I wanted to use a completely separate model for the eyebrows just to be able to have maximum control in that area, just to be able to have maximum precision for it, for the sake of this character. And after that, I just continued refining the face a bit, continuing to lay in all of the forms using redness and darkness, because redness and darkness is kind of what allows you to actually shape the look of your face. Now for this type of character, which was going to have a sort of gothic vibe, I wanted to make sure I used a lot of sort of black type of makeup. So on the side of her eye, you can see I added in a lot of darkness here, and around where the eye meets the edge of the skin, I added in some darkness there as well. What adding in the black does, of course, is add a lot of beauty to the character. From there, I added in some shadows, like underneath the jaw, underneath the eye as well, which I did using an eyeshadow globe, which is basically just a sphere that's transparent in almost all areas, but we kind of draw in a certain area where it's dark to give the illusion of a shadow being cast onto the eye. From there, I just started adding in some smaller details like eyelashes and the fat around the eye. The overall structure of the face was laid in. I also added some highlights to the eyes using a circle that was just completely set to white. And one thing that was unique about this character was for this style specifically, I wanted to kind of use dark lines to outline the forms of the face, to help give it that sharp stylistic look. And from there, I just finished up the eyes, and it was then time to move on to the hair. For the hair, of course, like usual, I just use a path curve that uses a Bezier circle as its object, and for this character, I wanted to keep the hair overall symmetrical, so I made sure to reflect it across her body. One problem that always arises when I'm trying to put my hair around the head is that naturally you have some gaps that are kind of bald, so what I do is take an image texture, I call it scalp hairs, and I kind of just draw in the same color as the hair on her scalp so that I can fill up that area and also indicate some tiny hairs without actually having to model them. One thing that I find really important to play around with for models like these is using a layer weight node to add either some brightness or darkness to the edges of your model. You can actually just use the colored edges effect in the stylized asset suite add-on, but I sometimes actually just like to go into the base color node group and do it manually using nodes, so it is up to you. But if you're not as comfortable with nodes, you can just use the colored edges effect. Okay, after that, I wanted to start adding clothing as well as accessories. So you can see me here first starting off by adding in the black thing, I don't know what it's called exactly, that goes around her neck, which was just a really nice detail. And then after that, I wanted to model her tank top, so I added in a plane, and just use a mirror modifier to save some time, so that I only had to do it on the right side of her body. And for a while after that, I basically just modeled around her body using snapping, and just worked on that for a bit. After that was done, I just continued detailing her chest and shoulder area. You can see I actually added a tattoo there now, and I'm going to do much more of those in the future. You can also see I added in a gradient to the bottom of her hair, and I decided on the color black for her tank top. I then drew in some more tattoos, and also gave her arm wraps, which you can see here. I used beveling in order to add folds to them, which is really important because without doing this, it would look totally flat and unrealistic. Honestly, my strategy here a lot is just having the toon shading on the model, and then messing around with the bevels and trying to puff out edges using Alt-S, and kind of seeing how the shading reacts to it and what looks best. Alright, so at this point I wanted to start detailing the hair a bit more. I started drawing in some reflections on the bottom of her hair, as well as the top. Of course, had to unwrap the hair, which is always pretty annoying before doing this, but yeah. And after that, I went back to working on the bottom half of her clothing more. I added buttons here to the tank top, as you can see, and also created a belt. At first, I wasn't sure what type of pants to give her, but I decided a type of cargo pants would be cool and match the style of this very well. So I duplicated out from her legs, and immediately, as you can see here, got them looking like cargo pants by extruding out certain parts, and also in general just made them very baggy by moving the faces around a bunch. I eventually then added in a black base color so I could start seeing what it looks like under toon shading, and realized it needed a bunch more detail. So I started adding in things like belt buckles, as you can see here, in all sorts of random places on the pants. Of course, Pinterest was my best friend here, looking at a bunch of different goth style pants. One other thing I did frequently was outline the forms on the pants in white, like the pockets here, and I did this because it just helps a lot with the visibility and makes it much more clearer defined. Okay, so at this point I actually forgot to record a lot, but the good thing is I always screenshot my work over time as I create it, so I can see the progression and also check how it looks on my phone to make sure it looks good on both devices. So one thing I tried was adding in these stripes on her pants as well, which works well to add some more detail, or kind of like a softer level of detail. And then after that, I played around with gradients on her clothing, so you can see on her pants there's a gradient of brightness there, as well as on her arm wraps and tank top. I then continued detailing the shadows overall by manually drawing in some by hand, which can of course be adjusted. And also, on her shirt, I started adding in some drawn-in details because it was looking pretty bland and boring. Okay, now for the next biggest addition, I added in these little metal or stone-looking gray details around her arm wraps. To be honest, they looked a bit out of place at first, and that was because for a while, I was thinking about how to best integrate them into the design of the arm wraps. But eventually, I just made the top of her arms kind of flip outward, which made it look a lot more appealing since it made the silhouette of her arms more unique. And I also worked on adding in some patterns with white onto the edges of all of her clothing. So this helped to tie things together quite nicely. So now, a big thing I want to address is her hair color. To be honest, at this point I felt like the black and brown hairstyle for her was just boring and could be more poppy. So what I did was try making some of her hair strands blonde, especially in the front, and I ultimately decided to keep this change. And from there, I just added in some more details. Okay guys, so now at this point, I had to do the rigging, which was straightforward. I used the Rigify add-on, which allows you to just create a basic rig for your character really quickly. And there's also a lot of other custom functionality that I add to it, like controllers for the eyes and face, hair as well so that I can be able to add jiggle physics to it, and just parenting everything up properly. I have a guide in my masterclass called the Stylized Characters Rigging Guide, which teaches you my whole process for this. And if you guys don't know what my masterclass is, basically it is my program that will teach you how to make things like scenes, characters, rigs, and more all in Blender, even if you're someone who is new to 3D. It's one of the few classes out there that is so comprehensive in terms of teaching you all these different things, so it's a great opportunity for you guys to learn and improve at a much faster pace. Alright guys, anyways, so after a little bit of time and effort, I had a first version of my rig done for my character. As of recording this video, there's still a little more I have to finish up, and this character is actually going to be in an animation I'm working on, so you'll see that in the coming videos. Alright guys, so without further ado, here is the final result, for now at least. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have an awesome day. Peace.